Hi, folks. I want to put out a quick video to add to something that Dev JB is talking about in his video, Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming, zero point 0.1 Forest Fen. He basically in his video, I'm not going to go play his video here, but basically he's discussing a theory that's been discussed on the forums for quite a while now, whereas you could create a star at all the exits, and then you create a star within that star, and a star within that star, and it takes you all the way in. I don't want to explain it because his video does a really good job already at explaining it. So I'm going to leave a link to his video. You definitely want to go and check it out. But I wanted to add something that he may or may not be aware of. And this was pointed out a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, by Bill Gorman. Bill Gorman had discovered, let me show you here. This is Google Earth Pro. This brown border is Yellowstone National Park. You can see the exits. There's an exit here, an exit here, an exit here, an exit here, and then the exit up by Gardner. Now let me go ahead and turn on the stars just to show you. So there's the star I just recreated in here really quick just to give you guys some perspective on what Dev JB is talking about. So we can go ahead and zoom in on those stars. Here's the area that he's talking about. Okay. Somewhere over here is where he had mentioned. And again, I don't want to get into that. And here's South Rim Drive. Here's the parking lot that he's talking about. But one thing I do want to bring to your attention, and this is for Dev JB and also anybody else that's into the star theory, let's take a look at one other thing that occurs here, thanks to Bill Gorman. Okay, you see this thumbtack? We have Skippy's picture by a rock, page 56 in The Thrill of the Chase. This is that picture here. This is Skippy. There's a rock there, and you can see the profile of this. And this is the Yellowstone River back there. And the falls, the upper falls are over here on this side. This is what Bill discovered, and I think the way he discovered it was, I don't know how. Actually, let me not even elaborate on that. I don't know how he discovered it, but basically, that picture was taken from right here. This is the Grand Loop Road. There's a pull out, and there's an overlook for the upper falls, and them rocks are over here. And Skippy is near one of these rocks, and what you're looking at in the camera is all back in this area. Okay, all back here. So I wanted to point that out. I don't know how many people are aware of that. Again, this picture was taken facing south, probably southwest a little bit. And you could see that here when you look at it. This is the water curving around. Well, who knows? One of the things I want to point out, maybe the chest is over here. Maybe the chest is somewhere back up here, if you really believe that this solve has anything in it. That would mean that the chest would be up here somewhere, maybe. I don't think it's on this side. I don't even think you could walk on this side. But I wanted to point it out because this is South Rim Drive. And this is that parking lot that Dev JB is talking about. South Rim Drive right there is the way across. Okay. And he's talking about heading down in this area somewhere. Well, you might want to also go and check up around here because, again, this is where that picture was taken. Suppose there's something to that picture. Now, personally, I am not looking in Yellowstone National Park. But my home of Brown, or there's other clues too, from other solves that are in the park. I just don't think the chest is there. For instance, you have Artist Point, where the picture was taken of the falls. I think that's around here somewhere. And there's a lot of interesting things here. And again, this is the Grand Loop Road going around there. And one other interesting thing I want to point out to Dev JB and you guys is this is Grebe Lake. Okay. One of the star points end on Grebe Lake. And I think a lot of the star points are tied to stories in The Thrill of the Chase. In fact, some of them, I know that's the case. And it's interesting because the poem leads to spots in the book, and then the book will refer back to this. Although in Grebe Lake, we're talking about too far to walk. When he took Coach Chauncey, this is the road he was on, the Norris Canyon Road, and he parked somewhere over here, and he wanted to drive up on this dirt road to get up here, to take him fishing for one last time, the coach, because he was dying. But they wouldn't let him go. So he had to take a bike and bike his coach all the way up to this lake. And then he talks about what he did with the limo. He slashed the tires on the limo. But the limo guys essentially camped around here, which is where they would normally camp. But in this case, they ended up going around the lake and they camped up on this side, which is interesting because that's where the star is pointing to. There's a lot of odd things like that that you'll discover. There's a lot of connections to the poem in this. Let me turn off this stuff. So again, I just want to point out that if you're looking down around here, if you think it's in the park, you might be able to go this way instead. He's saying there'll be no paddle up your stream. This is upstream in the Yellowstone. Maybe he's talking about just heavy loads and water high, while heavy loads and water high would be over here. So literally, when he took that picture with Skippy, he's looking south. That chest could be up in these trees. Again, I'm not looking and certainly Forrest could make this walk. If he was on South Rim Drive, he could park somewhere, say here, whatever, cut through the trees, go up in here, and put it on this side, and nobody over here is going to see him up there. But again, I just have other reasons. I just don't think it's in the park, but who knows? This might help somebody out. And JB, definitely check out his video. I'm going to link to it. And maybe there's something here that'll help you guys out. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.